The other day, a woman wrote to me on social media and told me that she has been in a relationship with my husband for 2 years, since a month before we got married.
Oh my gosh. Wow. So it turns out Daniele and Yohan's entire marriage has been a lie. Well, wait, we kind of knew that anyway, but this is the icing on the cake. This I didn't expect.
I started digging more. I went through his computer and I found evidence of other women that he's been in relationships with, that he spent the night with. There are at least 6 different women.
Oh, Yohan, what were you thinking? Didn't you realise you were on a very public worldwide show? This was bound to come out. I guess he just really doesn't care, does he? Now, before we dive into all of this, let's start at the beginning. So we left Danielle at the lowest of her lows. Yohan revealed that he was done with the marriage. He walked out on her and he threatened to take her dog. It really wasn't pretty, but unfortunately, things have got even worse since.
It's been a month since Yohan officially moved out, and this is my last day in this apartment.
So Danielle is hosting a retreat and she plans to live there before finding a new apartment when she returns. Without Yohan, the current apartment that they were living in no longer fits her budget. And there's absolutely no chance that Yohan's coming back into the picture. Not after what Danielle's just found out.
I've learned some things over the course of the last week that make me not care to fight for this marriage any longer. I don't want anything to do with Yohan.
Now, the thing is, Yohan already showed Danielle that he didn't ever love her. He only ever married her for money. Yet she was still, for some unfathomable reason, willing to fight for the marriage. So what horrible thing could Yohan have possibly done that's now finally crossed Danielle's very lenient line? Well, I think we all know what it is, and sadly, it's no surprise to anyone except Danielle.
The other day, a woman wrote to me on social media and told me that she has been in a relationship with my husband for 2 years, since a month before we got married.
No way! Yohan, a sanky-panky, cheating on a wife he never loved. Yeah, I never saw that one coming. Now, I will admit that it's exceptionally brutal that he was already cheating on her before they got married. That's particularly cold and heartless. Now, this woman apparently reached out to Danielle because she wanted confirmation that Danielle and Yohan were getting divorced. Why? What business is it of hers, you might ask? Well, get this. Yohan is asking this other woman to pay for his divorce.
She told me she met his father and his nephew and gave them money.
So if miraculously you've somehow watched all of this season and haven't yet been put off by Yohan, well, surely this has done it, right? The man's been complaining all season about how Danielle doesn't provide for him, all whilst he hasn't had a job, he's been cheating on her, he's been asking another woman for money, and oh, he's also been bringing this other woman to their apartment.
And that he brought her to this apartment complex.
Now, I'll be the first to put my hands up and admit that I was no Danielle fan, particularly after the last season. She used to be a bit of a monster, but credit where credit's due, this season we've seen a huge improvement in the way that she communicates. And the fact is, no one, absolutely no one, deserves to be cheated on and treated like this. Now, was she an idiot for marrying Yohan and promising him the world? Yes she was. But now she's in this heartbreaking position where a random woman is giving her the play-by-play of her affair with Yohan, and it's not nice.
Every time she saw him, sent me pictures that he sent her. One of them was a picture of his on Christmas Eve while I was handing out gifts to his family in his neighborhood. Really.
No, Yohan, no, not in the Santa costume. That is the last wholesome memory that we have of these two, officially tarnished. So what's this other woman's intention? Like, why she now decided to tell Danielle all of this? Well, Danielle thinks that it's to give her the final push into leaving Yohan. because up until this point, apparently, it's been Danielle holding on and fighting to save the marriage.
I think that I have been wearing rose-colored glasses this entire time. I think that the Yohan that I was seeing and was believing was there was never actually in front of me.
Look, at this point, it's now been months since Yohan first sat Danielle down and told her that as an American wife, he expects her to pay for everything. That moment right there should have been the moment that Danielle realised this marriage is never gonna work. But I think that the sad, narcissistic reality is that Danielle genuinely believed Yohan would never leave her. And she sure as heck never expected this.
I started digging more. I went through his computer and I found evidence of other women that he's been in relationships with, that he spent the night with. There are at least 6 different women.
Danielle explains that she's found evidence that Yohan's had inappropriate relationships with some of these women. He's asked some of them for money and he's made plans to meet up with some of them. It just keeps getting worse and worse. Like, how pathetic is this guy? He's just churning through women, asking them for money because he's too lazy to work.
And he sat here and bitched all year that he was broke. Meanwhile, he's been getting money from multiple bitches. Nah.
Okay, scratch that. I take that back. He wasn't too lazy to work. In fact, it sounds like he was working bloody hard. He's sleeping with women, then asking them for money. Sounds like Yohan's embarked on a career change. He's now a sex worker. But when confronted about it, he's now lying through his teeth.
He refuses to have a conversation with me. Refuses. I sent him a picture of his and was like, you sent this to this bitch on Christmas Eve. Here's a photo of the conversation. He's like, oh, I did? I don't remember.
I don't remember. Yohan, surely you could have thought of something better than that. It seems like Yohan knows that the game is up. There's no explanation in the world that's gonna be good enough to get him out of that photo. Santa costume Johnson in hand is pretty incriminating evidence. But while Danielle's clearly been left heartbroken, it seems like she's not yet done with her rose-coloured spectacles.
I feel so foolish because I should have seen what was there from the beginning. But when we weren't talking about money, we were so happy. We had such a beautiful life.
Danielle, firstly, you guys were never not talking about money. Like, come on, wake up. Was it really ever that beautiful? How can it be beautiful when the guy's a liar? He's been lying to you. He's been fleecing you this entire time. Literally, all we ever saw of these two was them arguing. Where were the good times? She's just been constantly stressed out. And now we've learned that he's been dishonest. He's been cheating on her the entire time. Sorry, but there really is nothing beautiful about that. So where does this leave Danielle now?
Do I stay here without him? Do I go back to New York and go back to a life that I don't really want anymore? Like, this is such a mind.
Now, while Danielle may claim that she moved to the DR for Yohan, we know that's not really true. Yohan was desperate to be in the States. It was Danielle that wanted to be in the DR. She was desperate to escape New York. She wanted that blissful life on the beach eating mangoes, whether that was with or without Yohan. And the truth is, what with all of her bankruptcy and debt, I'd be really surprised if Danielle did end up back in the States. Maybe she can take her pension and move to another low-economy tropical oasis. Another country where she can get more for her dollars and pretend that she's rich. But for now, it seems like she's got some serious healing to do.
And like now I realize that none of it was real. Like it was all just a game. But yeah, he's the monster.
This really and truly is the best for everyone concerned. Yohan's true colours have well and truly come out. He's a very shady, dishonest guy. But at the same time, Danielle needs to get a grip of her life. At least there is one thing that she can be proud about. Yohan may have tried to take her dog, he may have taken her pride, and he may have stomped all over her heart. But at least he couldn't take the hangers.